It's the Cable League. MTGO Show.
What's a vintage cube archetype I'd want to see in a cube without power 9? I like artifact stuff. I like welders and emeries and all that. There's a traditional style Japanese bakery that gets you for $100 every time you walk in. It's so easy, right, Fat Wesker? You're like, I want that, I want that. Ooh, that looks good. It's so hard to rein yourself in. Anyway, for people that have watched me a lot, it shouldn't be surprising that I'm taking Bowmaster Pack 1, Pick 1. If it wasn't in the pack, I think I'd be on Parallax Wave out of that particular run of options. Bowmaster is just never bad. And it's very cheap. It's very efficient. The main reason that I have it over Shieldred. I think Shieldred's going to win more games once it comes down, but it is a 4-drop. Bowmaster interfering with your opponent's early game piddlers, small creatures, and then also blowing out card draw, and then combining well with your own card draw. Just excellent stuff. I'll grab this here Grizzlebrand. You don't understand Monster Train, but it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's got a rockin' soundtrack and like pretty cool visuals and stuff. I think if you've played other deck builders like Slay the Spire, it's pretty straightforward. The main difference is that it adds like row combat. It's not like just you against, hey, well, speaking of the Shieldred, huh? With Shieldred and Bowmasters, now I really want some draw 7s. That's what I want. This is a sick fucking start. These are like 3 of my favorite black cards in the cube, all in a row. Ooh, little library action. Or is life death more important? I think I'm going to take the library. I really do want the life death, but there's other reanimation effects in the cube, right? You think library Shieldred's a good interaction? Yeah, I mean, if you have a full grip when Shieldred's down. Now, Shieldred Grizzlebrand. There's an interaction, This pack's tough with the Necromancy and Barragoyf. I'm going to take the Necromancy because we already passed life death. This is a very late Barragoyf going around, which I hope isn't a signal to somebody, but the Necromancy would be a signal anyway. Not much I can do about that. Suppose. Vaultborn Tyrant over, like, all of the recent cards, I think has grown the most on me. I still don't have it up with, like, all the premium cheat-in reanimation cards, but it does some cool things. Sometimes you really want the repeated life gain, and Vaultborn delivers. That's one I was very skeptical of when it was first added to the cube, but when you're evaluating a bunch of different new cards before you've played with them, very easy to get some of them wrong, right? It's just going to happen. I was going to grab Collective. There's an Echo of Eons here. I was just talking so much about how I need draw 7s for my Orcs and Shieldred. Now I just have one. Hot diggity. And the Sewers Wield. The Sewers Wield. Jeez. Crazy good pack 1. Yeah, for not having power, this is, I would agree. Crazy good pack 1. Bowmasters, Shieldred, and Grizzlebrand are all in my top 50. Library and Mind Twist have, like, historically been in the top 50. The Life Death Wheel. Jesus. Jesus. You're back from the dentist and you miss being able to feel your face. Oh my god. What if you're never allowed to feel your face again? What if there was a crazy dentistry accident and this is your new life? Nah, that wouldn't happen. Hey, Durant's Hybrid, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the 4 months there. Thanks for sharing that Prime. Wow. Ceratophius, the Time Spiral's the one that you didn't mention, but there's also Memory Jar, which can just kill somebody with a Shieldred or whatever. It's like almost the Twister, you know? It's almost the Twister over the Mox Pearl. Off-color Mox versus on-color Draw 7 with Bowmasters and Shielded. I'm going to Mox, but, like, this is just about as close as a Twister versus Mox ever gets, I think. I'll screen cap that one. That's a good, what's the pick for Blue Sky, I think. I'll throw that up. Ooh, we get an Entomb? Fuck yeah. Last cube stream of the season. Day 12, 365. If I had a Hull Breacher too, I think if you have Hull Breacher, like I said, with Shieldred and Orcs, I think it was already very close. I'm not sure Hull Breacher would tip it for me, but if there was other fast mana, you know, like if we had a Chrome Mox and a Dark Ritual in here, then maybe I would take the Twister. But I mean, maybe Hull Breacher would be enough. Little Vamp Tutor action. It's gonna help. So Tar Pit's a really good duel. I think I prefer the Vista. Tar Pit my wheel. We got the Undercity Sewers back super late. Hey, we got that memory jar that I was just talking about. Nice. We do. Hey, Dark Ritual. Extra nice. We do need some discard outlets. Ways to bin the Echo. Ways to bin our reanimation targets. I guess Entomb just tutors Echo, huh? Wow, that Entomb pickup was so good. I'm gonna grab Dam over Infernal Grasp. Sometimes the life loss matters if you're gonna like death back a Grizzlebrand. And we got the Archon. Hot diggity. No cold diggities in this stream. The hottest of diggities. My god. I think this deck is busted. I'm really excited to jam some Monster Train tomorrow. I played the demo for in like 2 different streams. Have I ever checked out Boom Boom Raccoon? They're like a queer British anarchist AJJ. So like a queer British AJJ. Prisons is Sick is a good song to get into them. I'll check them out. I'll check them out. Why not? Why not? All right. Boom Boom Raccoon. Prisons. I only see live tracks here on the YouTubes. Tragic indeed. Outside thought to taking the Containment Priest. One less graveyard hate spell in circulation. Was an outside chance he board in a Preacher versus aggro, though. And I don't want to gunk up my neighbor's deck. Everybody's feeding me such good cards. Why would I want to hate from them, right? That way we'll all end up with sweet decks to be unleashed upon the masses. One reason, it's very much easier to get a good quality deck in a league, in a cross-pod league, than the pod single elimination queues. I think I need to jam those more often to get used to like scrapping for playables. Certainly well experienced at them from money drafting years ago, but it's been a long time. It's been like years and years of me doing like cross-pod leagues at this point. Got some old skills that I need to resharpen, basically. So the Scrapwork Mutt is one of those loot effects that I kind of need, but I'm going to take the Misty Rainforest for the Sewers. Demonic Tutor. I'll take one of those. If this is a pack one, pick one, I'd be on Broadside. You liked the Mana Leak too? Mana Leak could have been good. Are we going to jam another 2-hour Commander match today? We are not. I think it's only the prequel league that's open. I guess I could fire up my other account, but no, I'm probably not going to do that. There's a ton of demand for Commander content out there, but I don't think... Oh, wow. Underground Sea and Grief. But I feel like I don't have like quite as much within my viewers. And I think a lot of the Commander content that people are craving is those like in-person videos that like the Professor and the Commander at Home folks are spitting out, where you see people like laughing and having a good time with each other. Get more of the community aspect. Yeah, I'm gonna take the grief, but hot damn, right? Shelldock Isle and Underground Sea here, both incredible. The Narset would almost be like too much of a good thing. Like the Bowmasters and Shieldred work well together, and the Narset's like redundancy, but it also bricks those two. I think this is good. I think I like the LED. I kind of like Harvester, but I think I like the LED. Currently, only really works with Echo and with Grizzlebrand, but that might just be enough. Kind of works with Shallow Grave, right? You put it on the stack, crack LED in response. Could lead to some busted turns. Mio found it pretty painful to watch. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to subject you to my free content. You think a Caleb Arena Brawl Day would be sick as shit? I've done that a few times. It's not like bad. Arena Brawl, I haven't done it in a long time. The Brawl meta is very different from when I played it. I didn't like have a bad time playing it or anything. I felt like the viewer numbers were a little lower than usual, but not like debilitatingly so if I ever felt like jamming Brawl again. Anyway, right now I'm taking between the Recurring Nightmare and the Shielded Edict. We just don't have very many creatures to sack to the Nightmare is the issue there. I'm actually going to take Lotus Petal over Crab. I think our reanimation targets are pretty good. Crab's a good one, but like I think we're already solid there. I kind of like the Flash as a way to bin a creature. It's particularly good with the Vaultborn, but like the Archon's not a bad one to flash into. You would happily watch Caleb EDH, but it would only be fun if Caleb actually enjoyed it. Yeah. I didn't like hate the Cube EDH game that I played the other day, but there was a lot of dead time, and I was mostly just like enjoying hanging out and talking to chat, as opposed to like the actual gameplay. There's more competition for arena streamers. You think so? But if that's, I don't know. I think I've just like cultivated a viewer base over the years that prefers Magic Online, old boomers and such. Because I have friends that stream on Arena mostly, and when they try to stream on Moto, they see their viewership decline if they feel like streaming Cube and stuff. So I don't think it's like a one-way street like that, where like one has more demand or something. That's the difference maker there. You're fine with me streaming either? Yeah, and you're not alone, Meow. There's a lot of folks that that don't care either way. I like both. I mean, I like playing Magic, right? Like, they're both Magic at the end of the day. You used to prefer when I'd stream Arena. Sure. Yeah, whichever client you're more used to. It's nothing natural to have a preference for. Easy to read the board state. Tycho's here for the sweet, sweet beard. Oh my. Dansman says that the UX is better for them on Arena, but Cube wins all. Fair enough. Yeah, when Arena Cube's up, assuming Vintage Cube isn't up, like I'll jam that. I jammed a solid number of Arena Cube streams this last season. Certainly not avoiding it, right? I almost like the Hymn to Turak in here. The single forest. It's so with the Lotus Petal I can play the Vaultborn Tyrant there. What's our count here? 8, 9, 10, 11 black. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue. 11 black, 7 blue. It seemed good. It seems great, right? Could maybe even go like 12-6. I think I like this. Sometimes you might have to have the double blue for Echo. I don't really want to have to like Vamp Tutor for a blue source to flash early, that sort of thing. Keeping this hand based on the library. Should get me where I'm going, huh? Alright, deck uploaded. You got Monster Train on sale after you saw me playing it and spent 60 hours on it? That's about right, Mr. Krasny. Yeah, very easy to get your money's worth out of that game. I was climbing and chugging along and like finding all the types and stuff. And then I think the Monster Train 2 demo kind of like derailed me. And then it just became like the Monster Train 2 waiting room. The Misty can go get a Surveil land here. Another chance to get something to reanimate. Do I know the demographics for my viewers, like average age range? Not specifically, but in a general sense. I've taken like polls and I've gotten loose stats from Twitch and YouTube and stuff. The average age range of my viewer is late 20s to mid to high 30s. I think I'm just gonna get a Grizzlebrand and discard it to hand size. At nearly 38, you're an old fucker. You and me both, Crow's Tongue. The low end with 30? I think 30 is about average. Because Twitch tends to skew a little younger. Have I looked at Starvaders yet? I've not heard of Starvaders. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Pirate Head 5000, thanks for the 46 months. Well, this all rips. Interesting that they didn't sort as a Grizzlebrand. I guess then they were worried about me taking a different card. It's weird to leave somebody with Bombardiers in hand, but I'm going to do that and take the Extruder. Extruder is an artifact for the Academy. And Bombardiers is a great card, but it's... my life total is feeling pretty safe at 19 here. Oh, fun, Ravioli. Wow, the counterspell off the top. Oh shit, what up? Hey, HS Answer, thanks for the sub, thanks for 8 months. Whee! Opponent's doing artifact stuff. I don't think my sideboard matters very much here. I certainly have targets for, like, cut down. I don't know how much that matters. I think it doesn't matter very much. I'm just going to submit. It's the first time you've seen flash cost paid. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll play the quote-unquote fair flash to try and play around sorcery-based removal. There, it might have been better to just, like, play the memory jar anyway. Because if they played out some, like, mana rock, they still could have sacked the bombardiers at end of turn. So it was a low-confidence flash on my part. I had a really good one once, where I used it to put a creature into play at my opponent's end of turn to play around sorcery speed removal, because I really put them on sorcery speed removal because they'd been sitting there with, like, things in their hand and stuff. And then at the end of the game, it turned out that they'd had Fury, and, like, I just got to win because of the fair flash. We'll see what they do here. I'm probably getting into him with Vamp Tutor. Actually, is Library good? No. Because the Vamp Tutor is putting me down a card, so I'd have to wait. Would Entomb still be playable if it costs 2 mana? Yeah, I mean, we kind of have that in Modern, but you can only get a non-legendary. And people do use it to set up Archon sometimes. It is certainly a hell of a lot worse. Opponent learned a lesson about not swords in. Any thoughts to getting Flash out the Vamp and flashing in Grizzlebrand on turn 2? Yeah, the Grizzlebrand just dies. It'd be like doing a lot of work to get this Grizzlebrand in the graveyard instead of just, you know, nuking their hand and their board. Opponent's got a lot of mana over there, huh? They left on top of the falls. Yeah, alright. Eight mana. Upheaval, sure. Kind of a soft reset here because they do not have what's the word? They don't have a win. They don't have any pressure. They're just slowing me down a little bit. Library's on. Yeah, things to do. Action. It's like what they were missing before, and they're still missing in post-upheaval. Lion's Eye Diamond. So Lion's Eye Diamond can pay for Echo. Necromancy can get back Shieldred, but that's only 14 damage. They're at 15. So it might just be better to reanimate Grizzlebrand first. I haven't heard this track in forever. Skrillex has probably kept on making music, right? I haven't heard anything new that he's done. Man, I really want to get back Shieldred and just fucking do the draw 7 thing. They might find them the swords to answer the Shieldred, though, which is a bummer. Oh, our deck's nuts, Bardaboos. The new Skrillex is amazing. Do you have a favorite track, Vivisections? Manuscript done. Well done. All right. Just had an album come out in April. Nice. Yeah, really glad I got like the random like Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Dark Ritual, like all that stuff is making this deck so much better, right? And something to do with all my cards. Can almost hardcast the Grave Titan. I think I'm just gonna like play Orcs and pass. Your favorite's probably Andy. All right, I'll check out Andy. So you could flashback Echo and potentially just win. You could also like draw them into their swords or the removal spells. I think I just like flashing the Vaultborn Tyrant. Do-do-do-do. If I played this earlier, I could have used Dark Ritual to pay for that, huh? Oh, I guess I drew off the library. Well, it looks like we're hardcasting Grave Titan. It's a little bit less powerful than I was thinking. Now we're in burn range, too, from this Brazen Borrower. I was so confident a few turns back, and I'm like, Yeah, Time Walk kills me, Bolt kills me, etc. We have 2 draws here. Are Stips open? Sure thing. There's a lot to go into, Rev the Fish. This thing would be so sick with a Black Source. Just turn 1 Shielder, go. And, like, a sick backup plan, right? With the Vamp Tutor and the Entomb. That was very painful to mull. Do you remember, right, that I had a double power Vintage Cube? I did, yeah. Is there a list online? Sort of. It's not updated, Mr. Krasny, see? It's like several years out of date, and there are changes that I wanted to make to it that never got into the online thing. I think there's been a miscommunication, Empty Cheons. You just have to draft 4 legendaries? Okay. All right. If that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. 4 legendaries it is. Did you mention Expedition 33 being a good game? I've heard nothing but good things about Expedition 33, yeah. Yeah, my hand went from a do-nothing to a, well, this is pretty alright. Just by ripping that Grave Titan hum. Was a lot of 2/2s on turn 2. And, to be clear, I appreciate the $20 donation. Mighty kind, MTGOs, mighty kind. At this rate, my Entomb's not going to be very good. Alright, I think this is going to work out well. Because Shallow Grave doesn't target, so I'm going to hold priority. Well, I have to play this first, I suppose. And then the order of my graveyard is going to very much matter, so hopefully I can control that. Imagine just clicking any order after all that. KLD wins the match? Wasn't this game 1? I don't remember. But the play here is to grab the Sneak Attack, run out the Recurring Nightmare, attack with Grizzlebrand, gain 7 of your life back, and then use the Recurring Nightmare to save the Grizzlebrand from getting exiled and reanimate the Archon there. That was game 2. Oh, the Grave Titan game 1. Sure. This opponent had a rough time, huh? They had a rough time with my very broken Reanimator deck. So close. Okay. I guess I keep and bid the dam. Necromancy doesn't target until it's in play, right? I think I can go LED, Dark Ritual, Necromancy, and then with the Necromancy on the stack, crack the LED, and have a turn 1 Grave Titan. Yeah, I'm still playing the Necromancy as a sorcery. I'm just responding to it. Very odd to do instant speed tricks with Necromancy, though. Imagine if I could have been an Echo there and then just like drawn a fresh 7 after all that. This could go so wrong. It could still go wrong. They just like swords the Grave Titan. I'm just like sitting here with a couple 2/2s. But they don't answer the Grave Titan like immediately, right? It's such a fast clock. 10 power, make 4 more power. Gotta play the hand the deck gives you. Exactly. Yeah, they're thinking, they're like, can I beat this? Is it worth showing a card or 2? Nah. Next! I'm gonna screenshot that, actually. It's kind of cute. Cute little turn 1 in the finals. Deck's been drawn super well. I like that. Show the turn timer. In the clip, I did it in the post. I titled the post Cute Little Turn 1. The turn timer showed my opponent's name, so why include that if you don't have to? Most folks don't mind their Magic Online name showing up in a random screenshot or what have you, but easy to avoid. Yeah, we haven't had a draw 7 plus Bowmasters or Shielded. I mean, we could have in the first round, right? Against that artifact deck. Might have even been correct. Ended up giving them some time. Just gonna do this now. Avoid random counters. A question for me is if I take the trade. I think it's kind of close. Having the memory jar in hand certainly points in one direction. So if I double blocked, they would have burst lightninged to win combat, and then they'd be on 0 cards here instead of 1. So it actually would have worked out better for me, huh? Like, I wouldn't have this 1/1, but they would have 0 cards instead of 1 card in hand. Final day of the cube season. Of course, the single Lin cube will still be up. And I'm pretty excited for Monster Train 2 coming out tomorrow. It's like perfect fucking timing. Would Mind Twist be okay in Legacy, or would it be completely broken? It would probably be just fine. My issue with Mind Twist in Legacy is that, like, it's one of those either it does nothing or makes people miserable cards. And there's enough, like, fast mana in Legacy. Like, just tapping a Grim Monolith. you know, like, I don't know. It's legal in Vintage? You mean the format where everybody, like, main decks a bunch of Flusterstorms and shit? Yeah, I'm not sure I consider that a valid counterpoint. Slightly different power levels between those two formats. I think I should have bolted there, actually. And then Shallow Graved at their EOT to get the Bowmasters out. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Hippity Long Ears, thanks for the sub, thanks for 86 months. Hell yeah. That was the fucking match? What was the first game? What what happened? Hold on. Oh, the first game we made turn 1 Grave Titan and they conceded. That's right. That's right. That deck fucking ripped. That might have actually been my best deck of the season. That deck was really good. It was like everything that I wanted Reanimator to be doing, and then like a bunch of other good cards. Alright, we have a Stip Friends.